Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes, get those notifications out, let people know I've gone live. And in the meantime, if you've never met me before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And oh my goodness, I am exploring the inside today. Being inside, planning on magnificence of an experience on the outside as we get closer to my week. Sunday, in less than a week, I am taking off on a little adventure. It's something I've been doing for, oh my goodness, for a very long time now. I wish I had taken exact count and a reflection on when I first started it. But I know when I first started it up again, it's in the ebb and flow. And for different reasons, we all lose touch on occasion, right? Life comes in, dishes out little experiences, and sometimes we make sacrifices in better adventures or what we would hope would be a better adventure, right? Sounds kind of a little bit entrepreneurish, doesn't it? Because that's what it is. It's being able to pivot, it's being allowing yourself to change. And, it's not something I'm a stranger to. I have been an experiencer all of my life, not always understanding why. And, I am very grateful, better late than ever. I didn't wake up to any of these ideas or any inkling that I even had a right to have my own ideas. And there's no blame in that. It is in the distraction of our lives. And sometimes we get a little bit of a start, and sometimes we end up pedaling backwards. But sometimes, something sticks. And when something sticks, it catches your attention, doesn't it? You start asking questions, you get curious, you go, what was that? Look for what? Kind of munch on. We kind of munch on it like a pit bull with a piece of raw meat in their mouth. And we munch on these things and we move with them a little bit. Sometimes, again, life picks us up and offers up experiences, and we totally forget, right? We get comfortable in the new lives that we have. And that's the way it should be, in all honesty, because that's a change. And in every change, there's a new experience. In every change, there's an opportunity to have a different insight. Will take you on a different adventure, a different mindset. And this is how we heal ourselves. Hello, Eugene. Hello. This is how we heal ourselves and move into aspects that are more, well, you guys know that I believe that this is a little bit of an evolutionary journey that we're on. I'm not big in talking about it all the time in that reference. I'm not an overly anything but realist in my life. I am swaying to the humanness in me, and I want to have all those amazing human experiences. Understand that experiences offer opportunity to make choices that may help us move into some change. And I tell you, I have changed. Oh my goodness, pivoted. When you just think one way or live one way or experience one way, and then all of a sudden, right? And it's the total opposite. But that takes a willingness to change. And that's scary. Lots of people, even myself, we like the comfy. We like the remote control. We don't like to, jump in the midst of things that will possibly ruin everything that we possibly could have done for ourselves. And we so often stop ourselves from making these changes, right? From not wanting to have the hairy scary in our life. And we lose out on opportunities. And sometimes we become the grumbler. Quite often, we become the grumbler of what we could have been, or this decision that you made, and it just destroyed your life. Well, you could have made at that point when you made that realization, make a different choice. You could have thrown that engine into your own life. I've done it many, many times productively and kind of, what's the word I'm going to do? Like self-inflicting, right? Not in a good way. But for most often, like again, it would be in my choices. Do I sit in that and just revel in the miserableness? Or do I pick myself up, brush my knees off, and try something new, right? There are habits, there are traditions and experiences that bring us joy that we just love to do all the time. These are our hobbies, these are our ambitions, right? And then we have our dreams and our goals, and those are the scary ones because anything could throw a wrench into that. And there goes all your money, there goes all your effort, there goes all your livelihood for your own family. But that's the life, right? That's the chance that we have an opportunity to evolve a little bit in our evolution, individual evolutions and evolution as a whole. And we have been doing this for tens and thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, if you really want to go far back. And it has brought us to this point. Oh my goodness. I'm getting so many amazing new features to play with. And, I saw a post on Instagram, and a lady was giving herself a challenge to try for 30 days to evolve a little bit in AI learning, in the digital age, in technology, to learn something new. I thought, how amazing is that? Because I believe that that evolutionary move that we're supposed to all make is definitely going to involve AI learning, right? And I think in a lot of aspects, AI learning is going to make life a lot easier for us, right? And again, we like the remote control and the easy, but we have to change in order to get into that, don't we? We have to allow ourselves pulled in. And that's what I've been doing. And I kind of started the 30-day challenge myself, learning a little bit. I'm so grateful that, you know, I join a beta program. So, when they're doing testing and stuff like that on social media, YouTube and Google, uh, right? Sometimes I get offered to try these betas out, and I've really been enjoying them, especially these are programs probably I would not be able to afford, right? If you're paying a monthly subscription or something. But the idea is I start playing with it and using those new tools because they're right. Even though it's doing a lot of work for me, there's still tools. I still have to search them out. I still have to ask those questions, right? So I've been playing with it a little bit, my own little 30-day challenge. And maybe it's not a 30-day challenge. Maybe it'll just be a habit that's in my life every single day. And in this moment, right, I might be just minuscule in what I understand. But if I allow myself to be pulled into it, not maybe search out topics that I'm interested in, topics that are relevant to my brand and the things that I do, and then um, and then move forward in different ways and just allowing myself be willing to learn a little bit more. And then you shed that, right? And the idea is to find something, be pulled into something that we really enjoy doing, that caught our curiosity, that made it like it feel like a piece of raw meat in our mouth, and right? And you want to know more and more. And I'm so grateful for where I'm sitting right now because I understand it was all those changes that I brought into my life, those choices that could have, well, I had the privilege of not. Well, I could have lost the roof over my head. That is a possibility, but you can imagine somebody who has millions, a gazillion dollars, right? That have different businesses with, yeah, employees and partnerships in that, and and you put that all at risk, right? And that's scary, scary. So in a way, I'm kind of privileged that I didn't have a lot to lose, right? In those resources, right? In that little drummer girl attitude, that I was able to pick up some lessons along the way, to ask the right questions, to join in the right conversations, and to make connections with others and make connections to Mother Nature, which has been just incredible, right? Lots of people call it different things, but it's in the organics of our world, right? I am a bit of a tree hugger, but I experience that differently, right? Than everybody else. And everybody else has a right to experience it the way they do, whether you're a jogger, a hiker, canoeer, a fisherman, a hunter, right? And we go, oh, a hunter killing animals. Well, it's a connection to Mother Nature. We have been doing that for tens of thousands, if not hundreds. How did we get here? This is our survival. This was our evolution. These were all the experiences and the tools that we had to pick up along the way. And aren't we lucky that life has gotten a little bit better for us, that we're not out there with our bows and arrows and, right, our slingshots and picking up dinner along the way? And lots of people are still, but that's in their evolution. Those are in their choices, right? Make a big pivot if you don't like where you live. Just fight for yourself, right? Fight for your dream. Set your goals. Start those baby steps to achieve something better for yourself. But if you just sit there in the comfy, right? That's what you're going to get, is the comfy. And that's just not the life that I want to have. Even, right, waking up to some of these ideas as late as I did. I just want to, right, expand in my life and enjoy my life and set those goals. And, right, in that little drummer way, right, dip my toes into aspects that I think that might help myself and help others along the way, right? In that process for myself, making myself that priority, right? And then being the evidence for somebody else that it could be done. That's pretty magnificent, right? And that gives me something that I value more than anything, and that's that sense of accomplishment. And today I was at it. I packed everything, right? I've been half-assed packing things as I go, but I really packed things properly, put them in a spot, put them in the rows and where I want to put them when I go on my trips, so that I have enough window space that I can see the police car sirens when they go off behind me. Right, I'm a peekaboo driver sometimes, that I just overpack the car and I can't see out the window. I usually, the past few years anyway, have been renting big luxury vehicles, so I haven't had that problem. But this time I'm driving a little Volkswagen, so I'm really compacting. So it's all about, well, it's okay that there's a lot of it, but it has to be compacted. Like the vacuum suck out all the air and stuff. And I I think I'm managing pretty good. I think I can get down a little bit more. I got down quite a bit. I went through all my clothes again and I minimalized even more clothes. So I know that's one thing I do every time because you don't know what the weather is going to be like. You don't know what the situation is going to be out, you know. So you pick different outfits for different weather and different time of the day and different events and stuff, and right. And so I end up packing too many clothes. So I went through it again and I managed to eliminate who a big one. I'm super happy that I did that. Not only that, I was able to pick up boots and shoes and put the boots and the shoes and all the outerwear into the same bag. I just like, oh my goodness, you just rocked it. Because I'd like to get this done because I need to clean the house. My brother-in-law is going to come and pick up my cat, and I have a bread order to do for him. I just going to make him everything, right? Pizza dough. I'll make him focaccia. I'll make him cinnamon buns. I'll make him his onion buns. He loves my onion buns, and we'll send him home with all of that and my cat. And he's going to take care of my cat for 10 days while I go on vacation. Not only that, oh my goodness, I got a few dollars. My family helped me out. I've been selling things and I think, right, spending that money wisely that I'm dipping my toes in that, right? Because I'm trying to bring change into my life at the same time. But again, this is my passion. This is a goal that I set for myself every single year. And I do my very best to make that dream happen, that goal, that stick with the bag at the end. That's for me. And create the very least that I can in my own drummer girl way. And I think maybe I might have done a pretty decent job, right? Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes and be willing to bring change into my life and to rely on AI. And tomorrow I've got to sit down with my book. I've got to do topics covered, like a pinpoint sheet of topics I want to talk about when I'm out on a trail and stuff, right? I need to clean my house and get my house ready so that when I walk in the door, when I'm all tired and I've had the most amazing holiday ever, and I walk in that door, I go, oh, I'm so happy to be home. And then just drop my stuff on the floor and go take a nap because I usually take a nap. It's the only time I nap in usual, right? I'm not a big napper, but when I go on these big trips, it zaps me out as much as I take from nature and take from my experience. I try to give too, and there's lots of opportunity to give when I go on my trips. There 100% is, but that's the one time that it really is for me. That is my battery charge. That's the evidence for myself that, because uh, uh, technically I shouldn't even be going on this trip, right? There was so many things pushing against that opportunity to go on this trip, but I just moved like it was going to happen. And you guys, it's happening. I always knew that it was happening, but it's in that willingness to allow change, to allow things that you could set your goal and you can be willing to understand that it's not going to look like that in the end. Maybe it'll look better, right? But if we hold headstrong into the itinerary, right? My itineraries are pretty loose. I mean, campsites and stuff, once they're reserved, right, without costing you, it's kind of hard to cancel them or change them and stuff. But, you know, in the adventures, in the side roads that I take along the way, in the conversations that I have, the people that I have interactions with, and just that connection to nature, right? I'm going to 4 different provincial parks this year. Pretty excited to do that. That's my thing, right? And for you it'll be something different, suited for your personality, suited for how it makes your system feel when you're doing it, right? But this is what I love. And this is what regenerizes me, and it gives me an opportunity to grow, to be with myself, totally be by myself. There are interactions, but this is for me, and to be able to be with myself and maybe experience the next idea that almost always in September it's a little bit scarier, right? It's a little bit right. That's easy. I got used to that now. I could take on a little bit more. So the lessons get a little bit more difficult, but no less interesting, no less curious, right? Right? And that's what keeps me going, right? It's a little bit of sense of accomplishment that I got all those lessons under my belt, that, that I am not falling behind on myself at the very least. And again, I'm going to give myself a little bit of, right, credit there, and give other people credit, because not everybody's life is built in a way that they can apply themselves, right? And, kids, husbands, jobs, there's lots of things that keep us from doing what will help us evolve, right, in our own evolution. And to be that example to somebody else, that you can have a busy life and create and set goals and just move towards them and enjoy your life, and yet make all kinds of, what is it? It is growth. That's exactly what it is. That's what evolution is. It's just growth. And I want to evolve. I want to move forward. I'm having so much fun creating the best human being I possibly can, right? And I'm willing to be melded by, whether it's nature or my environment or my family, right? Uh, to be able to feel that out, because I know if it don't feel good, if it doesn't feel right, I can make another choice, and I can be totally off in another direction. Okay, you guys, that's going to be my podcast tonight. That's going to be my live. I am exhausted. Oh my goodness. It has been a day that's full. It's been a week that's full. But I'd like now just to kind of piddle around and go at a nice pace and get all the detailing done, so that I'm not right. I've even got little lists going just to make sure. But let's see if I can get my pile. I got a killer pile going on. But the idea is to bring it down even a little bit more. I don't need everything in the kitchen sink. Eugene, thank you for popping into my live tonight, everybody. Have a great night. Just going to finish my coffee, and I'm off to bed.